These days, what's a home without a home theater system? And what's a home theater system without a brain? The central command mechanism is either your amp or your DVD system. Depending on which of the two you have, you connect your TV, decoder, speakers to the brain of the theater. While I do that, Juliette's got a story for all the wine fundies out there. In fact, this would probably be easier with a glass of wine.
Humans have been making wine for hundreds and hundreds of years, but times sure have changed since the winemakers of ancient Greece and Rome were fermenting their grapes. We thought we'd bring you to Solms-Delta in Franschhoek, a winery that is a good example of how South African winemakers are taking advantage of new technology within this field.
I think winemaking can have a lot of technology in it, but it doesn't always need to. Nowadays, production varies from very traditional with very hands-on methods to ultra-modern, where people use a lot of technology on a larger scale just to facilitate production and to make it more effective. Technology
has taken a lot of the unpredictability out of winemaking. For example, when the grapes are harvested and brought back to the cellar, they need to be within a certain temp range. If they arrive too hot, it might increase the chances of oxidizing the wine. So all you need to do is put them into cold storage to bring down the temperature. This simple step saves winemakers both time and money. White grapes are destalked, pressed, and then pumped into a steel holding tank to ferment, while the red grapes are destalked and pumped into the steel tank. The pressing takes place after they have fermented.
So in a nutshell, the winemaking process, obviously after harvesting, that's probably the first process where technology can come into play. One of the more modern practices is actual machine harvesting, where they've got a machine that harvests the grapes automatically as opposed to hand picking. Your next step is basically when the grapes arrive at the cellar, the need to crush and destem the grapes is always a mechanical process, and the list goes on and on.
A relatively new advancement added to winemaking is technology that is surprisingly shaped like an egg. This is the Nonblot egg, a concrete structure the size of a male hippopotamus that more and more winemakers are using in the creation of their wines.
Okay, so one of the more modern vessels that we use nowadays in winemaking is a concrete egg, where the shape actually facilitates stirring of the wine during fermentation, as you obviously get your kind of convection or a bit of a vortex in the middle. And that just generally gives you a bit more texture and breadth on the palate for wines.
The egg creates different temperature layers, producing a vortex that keeps the lees in suspension. The lees contain lots of dead yeast cells that over time break down and create wines with a rich, creamy texture. Though the technology has been around since the early 2000s, the Nonblot concrete egg is only now becoming more popular with winemakers because it's very pricey.
It's not a technology that is as widely implemented, and as one would expect, I think the main reason for that is there's a cost prohibitive factor. It's very expensive. We obviously import the eggs. There's not currently a local producer, and that mainly stems from the fact that it's a very specific blend of clay and cement used to allow for the micro-oxygenation or the porosity of the egg.
It's quite cool to know how something is made and what technology is involved in its production. It makes for entertaining conversation and, like a good bottle of wine, might bring some wisdom.